Happy new moon, everyone. On Thursday, January 11th, in the wee hours of the morning, we have our first new moon of 2024, falling in the sign of Capricorn. The energetic window of this new moon opens on Monday, January 8th, and lasts through Sunday, January 14th, so we can really work with this opportunity all week long. This is a pivotal new moon, and I mean that quite literally, as it sits precisely in between the last 9-month cycle that began in April 2023 with the solar eclipse in Aries on April 20th, and the next 9-month cycle that will culminate in the solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd. These two stretches are actually the two halves of the 18-month period of time defined by the lunar nodes being on the Aries-Libra axis. Okay, so what am I talking about? The lunar nodes are the north and south poles of the moon, and these represent our destiny and our karma, respectively. Because in order for us to find and live our destiny, our true north, we must also face, clear, and balance our karma. Now, there's a lot of drama around karma, so let's remember that karma is just the manifestation of the Hermetic principle of energy exchange, which generates cause and effect. Wherever we take action or choose inaction, there will be cause and effect. Wherever we create imbalance, reciprocity will be energetically restored. Now, we can either choose to take the action to balance the scales, or we can wait for that to be foisted upon us. But either way, reciprocal energy exchange will always be restored. And really, this is a good thing, because when we balance our karma, when we lighten that burden, we are able to progress forward on our sacred mission. So the lunar nodes are all about this interplay of karma and destiny, and the position of your lunar nodes in your natal chart is informative for you personally, but also the movement of the lunar nodes throughout the signs significantly contributes to the overarching themes that we are all experiencing collectively, because we are actually all doing this together. Though we all have unique roles and individual gifts and missions to contribute, we are all part of a much bigger collective mission, which is something I will circle back around to in a bit. So here we are, at the balance point in this current cycle of destiny and karma. This cycle is particularly critical, owing to the energetic nature of Aries and Libra and where we are in our collective progression. Aries is the sacred warrior of the zodiac. Aries energy is very much about fighting the good fight and pushing forward on a sacred mission. But Aries also knows that to the spiritual warrior, all battles are but the same battle, the battle between the higher and lower selves. And in order to progress on our mission, it is this battle that we must fight and win over and over again. So while the North Node is in Aries, we are handed powerful opportunities to align with our purpose, but we are also handed equally powerful battles with our lower selves. And in order to actually successfully move forward in our purpose, we must align with our higher self, as our lower self will try anything in its power to stop us. This is where the South Node in Libra comes in, because this axis is inherently an axis of the tension between individualism and cooperation. Libra is the diplomat of the zodiac. Libra brings cooperation, harmony, and seeks to find balance between opposing perspectives. So while the South Node is in Libra, relationships are going to play a key focus, and specifically the karma we have generated in relationships. During this time, we are asked to face our traumas and shadows that stop us from having relationships that express our higher selves. Relationships are our most powerful mirrors, and they also provide us the most powerful opportunities to choose between our higher and lower selves. And the Aries-Libra axis is here to remind us that none of us is here to fulfill our mission alone. We must be able to work in relationships with one another, relationships of all kinds, and we must be able to do so from a place of genuine respect and reciprocity, understanding our own divinity as well as the divinity of everyone else in our lives. So this new moon in Capricorn is a time of pause, reflection, and discernment, so that we may learn from the previous 9 months and realign ourselves, pivot, to make the most of the next 9 months. These themes are not done. This is intermission. Take time to ground yourself and honestly answer these questions. What opportunities were you given over the last 9 months to align with your purpose? How did your lower self show up to hold you back? When did you respond with the virtues of Aries, courage, conviction, and confidence? And when did you respond with the vices, anger, rashness, and immaturity? How have your relationships been over the last 9 months? When were you able to navigate those reflections with the virtues of Libra, grace, diplomacy, compassion, and cooperation? And when did you express the vices of Libra instead? Avoidance, prioritization of self-image over authenticity, judgment, and control. Where did you see the conflict between competition versus cooperation and isolationism versus relational reciprocity show up in your life? And what unresolved situations, loose ends, and hanging concerns remain in all of these areas that you need to close up in order to avoid carrying them into the next cycle? I strongly advise that we all take the opportunity handed to us by this Capricorn new moon to come to stillness and get real with ourselves around these questions, because these themes are not over. Indeed, the struggle between the higher and lower selves, how this manifests in relationships, how we treat ourselves and each other, and how this affects our ability to live in alignment with our mission, are all going to be core repeated themes in 2024. So take the quiet of this new moon time and leverage the virtues of Capricorn to come to clarity and discernment. And remember the wisdom, ye shall know by the fruits. Take stock of the fruits of the events and choices of the last 9 months. Which ones are bitter and which are sweet? In what ways have you moved forward? And in what ways have you returned to the same place you were? Just beware of the vices of Capricorn. Your mind will want to rationalize and excuse uncomfortable truths, and the temptation for self-judgment will be strong. Let the honesty of Capricorn prevail. Accept the good with the bad, and know that you will always, always be given another chance to make a different choice and to balance the scales. As we move into this next round of battle, set your higher self up for success by arming your sacred warrior with the most powerful knowledge of all, self-knowledge. And if you are struggling to quiet your mind this new moon and seeking clarity and discernment, I strongly encourage you to come to this week's New Moon Max Meditation, being held online and in person in Winnipeg, Canada. We will use this powerful meditation modality to bring stillness to the mind so that you can receive clarity and discernment as we close out 2023 and move into 2024.